I have no plan. I've arrived at CES with zero prep. Normally my wall looks like I'm trying to solve a crime with so many appointments. This year, I decided to do it differently. I ignored all the emails, didn't read any of the press releases. Heck, I don't even know which companies are here. And I did that with a reason. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to walk around, film anything that gets my attention, then look back through the footage when it's all said and done after 4 or 5 days, and then see if there's any real innovation. Are we seeing anything that's absolutely wow? So very unprepared, on purpose. I guess that is actually kind of a plan. So let's see what happens. Lots of mobile transportation options we can see here, with kind of from bikes to e-bikes to scooters. But there's one company that I absolutely love, and that's these guys. This is VMAX. I've used their scooters, and the reason I enjoy them so much is because it is a real transportation solution. It isn't a toy like we used to have as kids. Like, you think scooters, you think toy, kickstart, that kind of thing. This isn't it. This is a real transportation solution to get you from point A to point B. It's sturdy, it's stable, and most importantly, it is safe. It's so well designed that you can actually trust it even at those high speeds. It's something that I would charge once a week, get hundreds of miles out of that. It is really sick. That's the one to go for. Okay, as the madness continues, I'm seeing lots of things, but one thing I'm not seeing is AI. I'm seeing AI in hardware, yeah, I'm seeing some of that, but what I'm not seeing is AI in terms of like software and services and things of that nature. Maybe I'm just missing it. Turns out I'm not missing it, because there is this.
One eternity later.
So we'll see. I'm going to have to edit everything, put it all together, and then we'll kind of discuss it when I get back to Dallas. So goodbye, Vegas. See you later. Okay, I'm back and kind of recovering, and I had all this time at the airport and on the plane, and I went through the footage, and there are certainly a couple of notables. Oh, and by the way, for those trolls, none of these products featured from CES were actually sponsored, so just putting it out there. Let's start off with a wild piece of tech that we only saw in movies and is now a reality, and I'm talking about exoskeletons. Exoskeletons were all over CES from various companies. This one is from Hypershell, and essentially you strap it around your hips, as you can see. It's got a power pack in the back, it's got a little controller on the side, and as you start walking, it picks up the way that you walk, and it starts to learning. It's got AI built into it, and then it starts adapting to the way that you walk. And then you stick it into the various power modes, and the highest power, it just basically lifts your legs up for you. So these people are walking up and down stairs, minimal effort, and the machine just takes over. So if you're a hiker, if you're a walker, if you have trouble walking, this is going to be a massive help. Really cool trend to keep an eye out on. Out of all the ones that I tried, and I tried a whole bunch, I found that the Hypershell to be the most comfortable and intuitive. It starts off at around $900 and goes up to $2,000 based on things like power and battery capacity. This is the kind of tech that is able to take us to that next level. I mean, literally with steps. Okay, never mind. Alright, speaking of wearable tech, how about tech that is strapped to your face? Everyone I've spoken to when I've said what's cool to see here, they've all said anti-gravity. I don't know what that is, but I guess we're gonna find out. Let's go. Okay, we've hit the drone world. This is something I'm not super familiar with, and then it's got this. We're definitely gonna need some instructions here. Here we go.
And then now we can see the view of what it sees in your eye. There you go.
CES was full of drones for many years, and people bought them, got excited, flew them for a while, but so many people gave up and it's just sitting in the cupboard somewhere or available for sale on the marketplace. The reason is because you got to do too many things. You got to worry about flying, and then you got to worry about getting the right shot. With this, you don't have to do any of that. And that is because it's super simple to fly, and it records in 360 degrees. This is a sister company of Insta360, and they specialize in 360-degree cameras. So you just worry about flying. You never have to worry about did you get the shot, because you can deal with that in the editing app later on, just like you can do with their 360-degree cameras. So this is not a new company trying to work out 360. They have pretty much perfected it. Very conveniently located right next to the Insta360 booth is X-Real. Now, I love the X-Real glasses. I want to see what they got going on. Let me ask you this. When does a company make a product, then improves on that product, gives you better specs, better everything, and drops the price? Have you ever heard that happening? Because that's what X-Real did. Basically, if you don't know what it does, you connect it to a phone, you connect it to your computer. It gives you a large screen wherever you happen to be, especially if you're in things like an aeroplane. You know, when someone in front of you leans their seat back and you can't open up your laptop, just slap one of these guys on and you pretty much got your large screen TV all the way in front of you. I'm really excited to try the new ones. After CES, I'm going to hit them up. So we got to check out the X-Real 1S, and that's coming in at $449, which is just wow. Then we got to play around with the X-Real R1 together with the Asus, yet unreleased for gaming. But this is the future of mobile computing, cell phones, communication. Project Aura, I am super excited to see this. If you think cell phones are the things that we're going to be carrying around with us in the future, you're out of your mind. Project Aura is that next step. It's going to make us stop looking down at our phones the whole time and start looking at the world and people around us, whilst not being disconnected and still having tech like music and navigations and messages. But this is a thing for another video. At CES, the thing that stood out for me was how many people were actually willing to stand in line and give out personal information to get some freebies. And yes, the same thing happens online. But the real cost is that your info just got sold to a data broker, who then sells it to anybody who wants it. This is why I keep telling you to use Delete Me, who are longtime sponsors of this channel, because just like me, they believe that your info should not be sold. So they have a set and forget service that once you sign up, their team goes to work and removes your info from all these data broker websites. They look for things like your name, your address, your phone number, your birth date, and a whole bunch more of personal information. When, not if, they find it, they get it removed. Delete Me then sends you a report so that you know the status of each data broker and how many have your information and what is the status of it being removed. So if you care about your private info, please stop giving it out to anybody who asks. Go to joindeleteme.com/Liron20, use the code Liron20 and get 20% off your service. This is one seriously helpful tool to have in your tool set. And speaking of helpful, we just looked at tech that helps you walk, tech that you wear on your eyes. So what about tech to help you around the home? I am not talking about a stove that you can tell it what you're cooking so it handles the heat and sends you an alert when your food's about to brown. Yes, that exists, super helpful. I'm also not talking about something like When AI Chef, that you can stick your ingredients in it, it has a camera, it identifies what you put into it, and then it cooks your food for you. Pretty cool, but I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about these guys. This year, the robots started out being very cute, like this one that plays chess with you. That's pretty cool. And then we got this little cutie. This is the X3, but it does these really cool tricks. So tell it to go and fetch, and off it goes and fetches the little ball. It seems to be a little play companion from what I can tell. And speaking of playing, if you want to hear some music and to play the piano, well, you don't have to do that anymore. That's way too difficult. Just let these two guys do it for you. I mean, you can tell they feel and the emotion coming out of this. You gotta be ready to party. Well, if you're not, this guy is. Super fun. Okay, we are starting to crank up the level of creepiness meets technology meets reality, because this guy's super stable. I mean, the flexibility in the movements and the way that you're able to conduct itself and understand the music and kind of bump into it. Yeah. Is this the future, or is the future here? Is this super cool or super scary? And let this little clip play out for a bit so that you can decide. Yikes. Okay, but look, of course it's super cool to be able to have a robot that will fold your laundry. Now, think the fighting robots, and think when these things don't get it right. Like, this poor dude really tried hard, but just wasn't his day. Well, at least he's got backup. So let's see if between the two of them, if they could get this thing right. Come on, dude. You can do it. You can do it. What happens when they get pissed off and get irritated? Maybe we don't read robots at all. Maybe we just need to do this. I mean, this freaked me out. This person is playing a computer game that's this very complicated game by not touching the keyboard or the mouse, just by using her brain that's wired up to the machine. It's almost like we're being controlled. We must obey. We must obey. Make no mistake, we're living in the future. And this is all tech you can buy right now. And then we have the humanoid robots that are not 50 years in the future. These will be here in every home before you know it. It's going to be the same as when computers were first brought out. They were the size of a house and people said they're never going to be in every home. And today, well, we know that it's there. And we've seen the movies, and it doesn't end well for mankind. So, what do you think? Will something you see in your home in the future, or hell no, not for you? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for coming along on the CES experience. Check out this video that YouTube thinks you would love and you should watch next. Give the video a quick thumbs up before you head out, and I'll see you in this video. Let's go. We will obey. We will obey.